Can we talk about this? Let's talk about this.
Sure.
Because I don't have I don't have a ton to say.
Okay.
About the book, but I do want to
about the thing the podcast is about.
Welcome back to Recommendations Required, a podcast where two best friends try to find their next obsession, and maybe so will you. I'm Ryan Mion.
And I'm Glenn Brown.
And we're back, episode 34, cranking them, spanking them. You know how the kids say.
This is definitely some studio energy.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, we're in person, loving the energy. You're here to fix my lock.
Yeah, we got the lock fixed. You know, we're on a roll tonight.
It's too long of a story to get into for that to make sense. Just know that I procrastinated fixing a thing for several years, and Glenn fixed it in 2 seconds. So, and then gonna do some table work. Finish this bad boy.
Yeah, we finally finished this table a year in the making.
Yeah. And this is the flip side of that. And then we have some books to review that I may or may not have finished, and definitely had time to finish. And you have, so I don't have an opener again.
Yeah.
And I'm really eating my words, eating my foot and mouth.
Yeah, because 3 episodes ago you were complaining I didn't have openers.
You didn't have openers.
Yeah.
And this
will be
3
my third
episodes.
in a row.
Yeah. So
here you go, Ryan.
Here you go. Yep.
I'm making up for it.
Yes. So you have something you didn't like.
Yeah, I have something I didn't like.
Let's hear it.
I have no idea other people's opinion on this movie.
It doesn't matter, Glenn.
So I don't know if this is a hot take or not.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
But The Circle? Have you seen The Circle?
Is the circle where it's like there's 100 strangers and they all...
No, that's The Room, I think. No, that's...
That's not The Circle? I thought that was The Circle.
No.
Okay.
I mean, maybe there's 2 movies called The Circle.
Is it like something where they're dancing at the end? Is it a TV show? TV show or movie?
No, it's a movie.
Tom Hanks?
Yeah, Tom Hanks is
and
in
then
it.
Emma Watson?
And Emma Watson.
I never saw it. It's about the AI.
Bad.
Yeah, it looked horrible.
Okay, hold on. It's like kind of about Facebook, or like it's a big social media thing, you know?
There's already a movie out there. It's called Social Network.
Okay. It's like a fictional social media
that could never exist in real
company
life.
that like becomes Google level, you know, like everyone has a circle and they're coming out with circle products and your life is on the circle and you know that whole thing. And but I don't know, it's got Tom Hanks and Emma Watson and a couple other good actors. Like it seems like it has all the makings of what should be a decent movie, and like it seemed like it should be a good psychological thriller. You know, it's like it's going to be this wonderful company to work for that's amazing, and it's very like Twitter mindset where it's like we want you to like take meditation breaks and go to yoga classes and like we're a community here, and it's basically like a giant college campus. Like you have to live there to work there and stuff. It's like wild, but it seems like it's going to go down this like psychological thriller kind of route where, where it's like, then everything's going to like slowly distort and become really twisted. And all
you're
that
going to
stuff.
see the reality of things.
Yeah. And it doesn't do that at all. It's very bad.
What do you mean it doesn't do that? What's the conflict?
Okay. So basically what happens is your main character, Emma Watson, goes to... Is it Emma Watson, right?
I think so.
I think
Hermione.
Yeah, Hermione. Okay, yeah. Emma Watson goes to work at this tech company.
Okay.
It's like her dream job, obviously.
Yeah.
It's everyone's dream job. She like starts to meet people and it's fine, but like she has parents at home that are very sick.
Of course.
So she's like trying to send money back to them, and she has like a friend who's very like off the grid kind of person back home, you know, who's like kind of a love interest. We don't know what's happening there. But she keeps taking the weekends to like go back and visit her
family and
friends and like take care of her dad. And eventually that becomes a problem because she's not like a part of the community. She's not like going to the yoga classes and like in the softball league and like all that random shit on the weekends. So like her work performance is dipping because she's not involved in the community. So now she has to become this like she like stops visiting her family so that she can do her dream job, and it kind of disconnects her and she loses touch with her family.
Yeah.
But her like career starts taking off. She's doing really good at this company. And then eventually, there's like eventually a twist of sorts that kind of happens. And now I'm forgetting what it was, where she, it's so bad.
Super memorable.
Yeah. But she eventually goes like full transparent, which means like she like gets like a camera attached to her and just 100% live streams every second of her life.
Okay, cool.
And she becomes like a representative of the company. Like she's a famous person now because she's like the first person to go transparent and try and get everyone else to do this. You got a little bit of Big Brother vibes. Like they're watching everything. They're like, they do this whole thing where it's like, we're going to launch this new program where we can find anyone on the earth. Like we're getting a little dystopian now. This is cool. We can find anyone on the earth, like anyone who's been convicted of a crime and on the run. Like we're going to hit this button and it's going to send an alert to everyone who's on the circle, and everyone will just suddenly manhunt this person and we'll track them down. Okay. It's like cool in theory. But then like, she's a famous person now, so they know about this off-grid boyfriend love interest thing, and they're like, you need to find him. Like everyone starts rooting, like, let's find her boyfriend, you know, this would be cute, you know, but like he's an off-the-grid guy who doesn't want to be found. Yeah. But like eventually like drones swoop down on this cabin in the middle of the woods.
Because he's off the grid.
You know, like drones come down and like people drive up to his house and they're like, oh, we found him, you know, and this is all being like live streamed and stuff. And he like gets in his truck and is trying to drive away, and like a drone swoops in front of his car and he like goes off a bridge and dies. And it's like, whoa, what happened? Like that's the huge twist of the movie. And I'm like, wait, okay, like where's this going? Yeah. What is happening? You know? And eventually the huge twist is like she realizes how like corrupt and horrible this company is. Shocker. And then she decides to like try and take the guys down.
Got it.
And it turns out one of the friends that she works with is actually like the founder of the circle, like created the circle, and he knows like its dark depths, you know?
Got it.
So she like works with him to like hack into the circle and get all this dirt on the CEOs. And then she's like doing a presentation. She's like, hey guys, here's all the dirt on the CEOs and like how they've been communicating with like the US government, and, doing shady stuff. Movie's over.
Dude, I'm so bored.
It's so horrible.
You're like Tommy, and I'm like, I need to be
so
I need to be in tune for this podcast. And I'm
Did
like,
you hear what I just said?
Yeah.
Here's the dirt. We're not going to tell you what it is or show you what it is. Movie's over.
Movie's over.
It's just like, yep, we found the dirt.
And what would that be?
And we're going to take them down. And it's like, you're not going to tell us like what it is,
so boring.
Or like what the dystopian thing that's going on is. Like nothing happened. Nothing happened in this entire movie. I was watching it like, what is happening?
They just like, it felt like they had all those setups for different things, and then rather than coming up with a payoff, they're like, well, we could just end it and do like a cliffhanger.
We'll just say it's not even a cliffhanger. They're like, oh, horrible things were happening. They got caught. Movie's over. And it's like, yeah, but like, what were the horrible things? Like, what's the fallout?
Yeah.
What's like you didn't say it. You just said bad thing happened.
Bad thing happened. Bye.
Like what? You can't do that. You've been ramping us up this whole movie.
We're coming back to that. To that singular point for Glenn. If you're going to show him a movie,
too many questions,
and not a good ending.
Oh my god,
it's all about the ending.
You got to land, right?
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. It was
so frustrating, but it's just I just expect so much more from like a Tom Hanks vehicle.
A big check can get someone to be in a really bad movie.
I guess.
Also, like a lot can change from like I see the script, I'm on this.
Yes, of course, and I know that's like not the actor's fault, and like there's a lot of editing that happens after the fact and stuff.
But it's like, you assume you see a certain actor, there's going to be a certain quality that comes with it.
There's like a bare minimum to a Tom Hanks movie.
I don't know though. Like when was the last time like a really good Tom Hanks movie came out? Like in the past 10 years. Maybe it's too much.
Sully.
Was that like a really good Tom Hanks?
I think it was good. A lot
feel
of
like
people loved it.
I feel like
I
he's
think it was
kind of
highly
like.
rated.
I feel like he's kind of just like in the. Well, like it's a good movie, but it's not
Forrest
like.
Gump.
That wasn't. Was that 10 years ago? That wasn't 10 years ago.
It's got to be like
It's
20 years.
Yeah.
It's so
Okay,
old at
five.
this
Like the
point.
past 5 years, I feel like it's like
Yeah, I
he's
don't know,
in
I guess
movies
not.
that are like. Oh, okay. Like that. That
Oh, it's
looks,
Tom Hanks.
that looks fine.
Yeah.
It looks fine. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess all the movies I'm thinking of are pretty old. Catch Me If You Can, and
Yeah, like those are great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But
Well,
yeah,
Forrest
I don't know.
Gump and
I don't know.
then-
It was just bad.
Toy Story.
It was just a bad movie, guys.
sorry.
Don't watch The Circle.
Don't watch The Circle.
It's bad.
When did that come out? I gotta look this up.
I think it's
'cause I
fairly recently. It was like 2021, 22, I think. I think it was like COVID-ish.
I think it was past or before COVID.
Maybe. I'm
looking
behind.
it up.
I'm way behind the ball. Maybe.
Okay, the movie I'm thinking of is also called Circle. It's not
It's
called
called
the
Circle.
It's not
Okay,
called. It's
okay,
not
okay,
called.
okay. So there's
The
a movie
Cir-
called Circle.
There is a movie called Circle where there's 100 strangers.
I've seen that one too.
That one's probably better than this.
It has a
honestly.
better ending, better landing. It lands what it's doing.
This came out in 2017.
Wow. Okay, it's quite old. Okay.
Been a second.
My. So that's not even the last 5
Also,
years.
this guy. What's
My
his name?
time has been warped. He's in Star Wars.
Finn
Yeah.
from Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy.
John Boyega.
Yeah.
That's a great name. What a great name.
Which to be fair,
Is he the C? Is he like the founder?
yeah.
Of course.
Like these are good. They're good actors.
Yeah,
doing a
I'm
good
sure
acting.
the acting is
acting's
good.
great.
Yeah.
but like just the
something-
storyline just
something
makes
got
no
lost.
sense at
Yeah.
all. It's so bad.
Yeah. I've heard about too where like they'll have like a movie and like the not producers, what's the name for them? Like the studio heads
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
come in and cut
Just
up the film
ruin
and
it.
destroy
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know that happens a lot.
So check
That's
out
probably
Circle-
what happened
check
here.
out The
No,
Circle.
Don't check out the Circle.
Tom Hanks is in it. It's great.
It's horrible.
The ending, it's worth the payoff.
It's complete trash. You know, like I could literally fix this movie with one thing.
What's
like
it?
like this would literally improve the movie if like ghouls showed up out of the basement of this like high tech facility.
Is that
and just
Barbarian? The Barbarian.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
literally, if a monster came out of nowhere, it would make the movie better. No
like-
context at all.
I'm fine
An
with
alien
nonsense.
crawls
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
the basement, and it's like they've been using alien technology
yeah, to get the
run the
sword.
circle. Like
It
that
would've-
would make
it
it
would've
better. Yeah. They just did
That's a
nothing.
good- I think
hate
that's
when
a-
a movie does nothing. That's the moral of the story.
I think it's a good measurement. If I throw a random monster into this, does it make it worse or better?
Yeah. If it makes it better, it's a
It's a bad movie.
If it makes it worse, okay, maybe it's a good movie.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
All
We
right.
stumbled
The
on something
Circle.
here.
This is
The
good.
Circle's
This is
bad.
good. All right. So new test.
Okay. Whew.
Doesn't need a big monster. All right. Speaking of payoff and endings to
Yeah.
things that I didn't
That
finish.
you didn't finish, yeah. You had 2 weeks and everything.
You know what? There was a lot going on.
That's
All right.
fair.
All right.
That's fair.
But okay. Actually, this leads me into it.
I know that you've had a lot of free time.
Yes, but I will say I've had very little control of what I put that free time to.
Okay.
I've had a lot of free. You're talking about the board game.
Yeah.
I felt. Can we talk about this? Let's talk about this
Sure.
because I don't have
Why
I
not?
don't have a ton to say.
Okay.
About the book, but I do want to.
About the thing the podcast is
No.
about.
I'm just like we have time. We have time to linger here. So
Okay.
I'm going through some stuff.
Yeah.
And I've had a week, quote unquote, off, but
Sure.
you and I have been talking about this board game.
Yeah. We're very into board games.
We're into board games.
We're very creative
and so
people.
I
Yeah.
spent a day
kinda making a
where
board game.
I wasn't needed, and I spent the day out, and I was like, I'm going to go to the coffee shop, and I'm going to work on this board game. And I texted to my friend Glenn, the one person who would really get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I said, Glenn.
I want to clarify. I'm here for it.
Yeah, no, I don't know anymore. Because I text Glenn, I go, Glenn, I did a thing. He goes, oh no. And then I sent him a screenshot of
the board game.
of the board game prototyped
Yeah.
in Tabletop
In Tabletop
Simulator.
Simulator.
And I said, let me know when you're ready to play. And then his
Okay,
response.
hold on.
His,
I need
no,
context
his
for our response.
His response is, you have way too much time on your hands,
Yes,
lol. His
yes.
friends His friend is in a dark place and is finding passion and creating this board game and wants to share it with his friend.
That's fair.
And what does he do? He shames him. He shames him for playing the board, for doing the board game.
I'm not shaming you. I'm simply stating a fact that you have too much time in your hands because I am in the midst of my daughter not sleeping through the night because she's sick.
Are we playing these cards? Do we want to play these cards, Glenn?
And work is overloading me. Like, I have no time in my day at all. Meanwhile, Ryan texts me, I'm just dabbling with making a board game prototype.
You just got to make time, Glenn. You got to make time for you.
Okay. I'm here for it, though.
You have stability.
Yeah.
I have none, but I have time, all right?
It's fair. Okay. Yeah.
So
I'm sure this board game's going to come up on this podcast a lot more. I guarantee it.
The one person. Well, one person. What does he do? You have too much time on your hands. All right, cool. Thanks, Glenn.
Well, okay, hold on. What were the next few text messages in that conversation, though?
I said, listen, Glenn, you can either judge me or play with me. Smiley face. And he goes, haha, I'm in.
Yeah,
that was it.
I'm in. I'm in, man. Come on. You know I'm playing with you. I'm here. I want to play this game. Let's do it.
I want people on my side, Glenn, that are going to support me and how I spend my time.
Okay. I think it was a great use of your time, and I'm here for it.
Let me get back to this book.
Okay.
Mort.
Yeah.
So I started it multiple times during my week off.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And I just
couldn't get it running.
I think the thing is like my fixation or what I can get into has been very specific.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm into the show. I'm not into the show. I'm into this thing. I'm not into this thing.
And you just want to drop it.
And
fast.
I just I have no desire to,
Sure, yeah.
So I've been like, okay. And then it hit a couple days ago, the book, where I was like, okay, I'm in. I get it. And I just clicked and I started reading it.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out, like, I like the book. Let me just start off there.
Yeah.
I like the book, and I'm not going to do this thing where I tear into it. Maybe I will. Who knows? I like the book,
fine.
but
I
feel like
this podcast.
I feel like I went in expecting a similar, like you were saying, like, it's a fun read. Like you phrased it in a way that was like, hey, this is more like a lighter read.
Yeah.
But I didn't think I caught on to the tone of it.
Oh.
From how you pitched it.
Oh, okay.
Like, I was like thinking, it's going to be this super serious, like, death in this guy and like exploring this world. And then it's like, it's very much like a comedy.
Yeah.
And like crazy things are happening. And that's fine. But I was just like, I got to play back the tapes because I was like, I went in with a very different expectation of this.
Okay.
And it wasn't jarring. It was just like one of those things where I'm like, okay, this isn't Way of Kings. Okay, we're not trying to build the world. We're just jumping from event to event.
Yeah.
And
do you feel like I set you up for failure?
Not for failure. I just feel like if you're recommending a fictional book, and then talking, like, I just think that there's like, hey, like, there's these inserts throughout the book that kind of are like give you these like little nods into the world, and like it's mainly this comedy, and like the book doesn't really ever take itself too seriously, even though it's dealing with some interesting subject matter. Like, I think it could have just been like, how much should I be like trying to latch onto the world?
Got it.
And this is not
That's
the
fair.
book.
That's fair.
Because it would be like they'd explain something and then like it's like the first 10 minutes, like he's with Death going, and they're like, oh, by the way, there's like these plants that tell the future. Okay, we're moving on.
Yeah.
And you're like, does that matter? Like, does it?
Okay.
And it does.
To be fair, I think I do struggle with whether I'm telling you too much or not. Like there are some things where I'm like, I don't want to spoil things for you. Like, I want you to like go in without too much expectations on it. Or I don't want to like set up something that like paid off for me but didn't end up paying off for you. That kind of thing.
That's fair. I think like setting a tonality of it is like like if you're like, hey, I have two fictional books. One's Way of Kings and the other one's Mort. Mm-hmm. And it'd be like, this is the kind of like mindset you should have going into the Way of Kings versus
okay, that's fair.
And
that's
I think
fair.
like
I can set
that's
that up
fine
better in the future
because I was like, oh, that was really funny, and then I'm like, is this like a comedy? Because they're like building up death in this really cool way, but then like Mort's is kind of like dingus, and he's just like, and it's great, but it's just like I was like, I'm needing to do some shifting here for a second.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't set it up well.
No. So you're fine. But I just need to say it because I was like, I think it was like a third of the way through it. I'm like, okay, I think I'm getting it. Okay. I'm getting what we're going for.
Third of the way through.
And it's good. Okay. It's like, honestly, Mort is like the same tone as oh gosh, what was it? Not Dante.
Dante's Inferno?
No. No. The game that you recommended, Hades. Hades and Mort.
Similar tone, yeah.
Very, very similar tone.
Okay, yeah, that would have been a great comparison.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I thought of that.
Like,
that's perfect.
It's like there's these dark things happening, but also like there's this hint of humor and it's lighthearted.
Yeah.
And it's like
that's a fair comparison.
So yeah, like
that's great. I wish I would have thought of that 2 weeks ago. That would have been a perfect thing for me to say.
So that would be my only thing. Like if you listened to the episode and then read it, you wouldn't have a problem with it. But now listening to this episode, it's very Hades in the sense of it's kind of tongue in cheek, but overall I really enjoyed the book. I think it comes down to that. Like I think it's going to lose points. Just comes down to what do I want to spend time reading and listening to.
Yeah.
And
which is why I thought even if it didn't like really hook you and suck you in, it's like 8 hours. And if you're listening at like I listen to stuff at like 1.2 usually, it's like 6.5. Like it's like a pretty quick, lighthearted read. So I figured even if it wasn't like a solid hook for you, it's like, no, it's quick. It's not like a huge investment.
No, 100%. And I think I want to. So I have like the last like 20 to 30 minutes left. Mm-hmm. To be fair, I was listening at 2 times speed.
Yeah.
So like, take that with a grain of salt. But I want to finish it and kind of come back and see if that ending changed anything.
Yeah,
but I think honestly, like when I say like I don't have a lot to add, it's like I thought it was like well written. I thought there is one little thing that's not this book's fault, but it made me think about this. I'll just go there for a second. So one of the things that has been interesting is like I've thought about like writing fantasy books before.
Yeah.
And the one thing I keep getting stuck on... What did you say?
I said, haven't we all?
Yeah, exactly. And the one thing I keep getting stuck on is when you're explaining what something looks like or feels like, do you only use references from that world or do you use references from the current world of the reader?
Yeah.
And this one used the current world of the reader.
Yeah.
And I don't think I like that.
Yeah.
And I think it pulls me out. Like, the images they use were great and they did the job. Mm-hmm. But I think... But also, like, this book isn't...
is, like, hard on imagery.
Yeah, and I think...
Super hard.
Yeah, and it's also not trying to really do a lot of world building, which I think is more of a common thing with, like, books now. Yeah. Where it's like you have, like... Lord of the Rings, and then you have like Game of Thrones, like of the more recent books now that are kind of like more focused on like setting the space, where this is much more like we're here and then we're here and like there's like you don't really know what time it is, like like there's these mythical things, but everything else seems pretty like normal.
Yeah, and you're very much like along for the ride. It's not like doing a bunch of preamble to like set up the mechanics of the world or anything like that.
I think this one book would be a really good movie.
I thought so too. I was reading it. I was like, "This be good."
Yeah, the pacing of it.
Even like, I feel like it could get turned like a little bit more towards a kids movie in some aspects.
Yeah, I don't know, because there's this scene where like the Death is getting drunk and stuff, and then like considering,
I mean,
like,
and
it's like not that big of not that big of a deal, but like I think that what the book is trying to like toy with and chew on is like the ideas of like humanity and like the things that, you know, morality and right and wrong versus how things are,
and like predestiny and
I liked Mort, and then I didn't like him, and then I came back to Mort. Okay. And I was like, I didn't like him because he's kind of this Dutz, but then like he somehow is also like this person that asks these really profound questions all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like is that part of his character? And then
I think part of his character, because right off the bat, you get a description of Mort of like kind of like prancing through a field almost, like very spindly kid who's just like running around willy-nilly. Made of knees is how he's described. But his dad does say right off the bat that like his mind is like too big picture.
Yeah,
like
that's true. That's true.
His mind is like too, like almost like too intelligent to some level of like it's thinking fit. It's thinking about things that are too big for his own good. You know, that he can't like hold a job, for example, because like that's too like small for his mind. You know. So you get a little bit of intro for that.
But yeah, I mean, like, I don't really. The imagery was great. The writing was great. Characters were fun. The love interest felt a little shoehorned at the end, maybe, but also feels like my pacing's off because
there was a little bit of flirting between them, but like, it wasn't like
and then it's
huge.
just like, by the end, you know.
Do you think you would read more Terry Pratchett books? He has a lot. Because this movie's from like this book's from like the 80s. He has like a lot of.
It's hard because I'm like, would I rather read that or keep reading Way of Kings?
That's a great question.
And in my head, I'm like, I would rather read more of Way of Kings.
Really? More Stormlight Archives. Okay.
Because I think it's almost like there's more payoff for me spending the time in it.
Okay.
Like more is just
spend a lot more time.
I know, but like more is like I'd maybe like look into like what his series are.
Sure.
Because I really enjoy his writing and I like his characters. Honestly, probably more than Way of Kings from my current understanding.
No, that's fine.
Gonna make sure to tell me that they get way better.
I do think. I mean, it's a different discussion. I do think the characters get better in the Stormlight Archives into like the second and third books. But I really did think you would enjoy the characters of this book.
I really enjoyed the characters. Like, Death was good, and it's like. And I think that was the thing that I was like trying to that was throwing me off is like Death is this really interesting character, and I was like kind of reading that straightforward, and then he's like in the world of going like, what is getting drunk? And I'm like, oh, okay, it's one of these like
he's like someone who's become so detached from the reality he's serving.
Just doing his job.
You know?
It's very our Bill and Bill and Mandy and the Grim Reaper, that TV show.
Yeah, a little bit like that.
Got that vibe to it a bit.
Yeah.
It was a fun read. I'm just like, I don't like naturally enjoy reading in books. And so there's a piece of me where I'm like, would I want to just keep doing this? Like, I don't know. Like there's almost like I want more movement or more impact on me if I'm going to spend time in this thing.
You want to have your read.
If you're a casual reader, this is your book.
Yeah.
And this is super fun. And I'm curious to see like, it's just it's a different kind of reading that I haven't done in a really long time. Like since I was younger, where you kind of like pick up this like thin book and it's just full of wackiness.
Yeah.
And then you put it down and you're like, that was great.
And I think I mentioned this in the last episode of like this feels like a book I really would have enjoyed reading as a teenager.
Yes.
Like if this was like assigned
100%.
in like an English class, I would have been all over it. But of course it wasn't.
Because it wasn't. No.
You know, like that's how it felt to me. It was like, man, like I wish I was reading this instead of like The Great Gatsby. Like, I feel like I would have had so much more to say about like the questions this book is asking than The Great Gatsby.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's how I kind of felt about it.
Yeah, but no, I fully support that, and
I do fear that this podcast is going to become a book podcast because I have not been much of a reader, and I am falling deep into the reading hole. As of late, I've been reading a lot more and like listening to a lot more audiobooks and stuff. So I'm worried my next like 5 recommendations are just going to be books. But I got some other stuff mixed in there. I'll be sure not to go. I don't want to go book. Yeah, that's no good. That's no good for anyone.
That won't be the case for me.
I'll mix some other stuff. Yeah. Mix some stuff in there.
So the rating.
Yeah. Give me a rating.
I want to pull up what I gave Way of Kings.
Sure. Okay.
Because I'm thinking I'm like lingering at like a 25 right now.
Oh, that sounds great.
But
I think it'd be so funny if you ranked it lower than Way of Kings because I felt like you threw a lot of heat at Way of Kings.
But Way of Kings asked more of me.
Yeah, there was a lot more going on. Yeah.
Like I think Way of Kings. Oh, frick! Was Way of Kings a better book than this?
I mean, yeah, book to book, which one's a better book?
It's so hard.
I know they're so different.
So hard.
They're both like fiction, fantasy, like in the same realm, and yet so different from each other.
Yeah, and like obviously, but like it's like Way of Kings was like trying to set up this epic.
Yeah.
And like it was totally world building, and I got lost in it.
Yeah.
And Mort was like a fun movie I put on.
Yeah. We're just going for a fun drive. Hop in the car.
So it's like they just feel so. Okay, Way of Kings. What'd
you give Way of Kings?
Gave an 85%.
Okay.
I don't know what that.
We need to transfer that to
I don't know. Yeah, we need to.
You said 85%?
85%. 32 teeth?
That is 27 teeth.
Yeah, I'll give this a 25.
25. Okay.
25.
That feels good.
It's good. It's a good, like, if someone's like, have you read Mort? And do you suggest, like, yeah. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if I'm going to go out of my way to recommend Mort.
Yeah. Solid C+.
And this is interesting. Is the higher the points or higher the rating, is that on how much we enjoy it or how much we want to recommend it to someone else?
Both. I think both.
Okay.
I think the rating has always got to be specific to you.
Like obviously we're going to enjoy the things we want to recommend. So it feels in unison. But this feels a little like conflict where I enjoyed it,
but you don't know that you recommend
I don't think I would ever recommend this to someone.
Okay.
Unless
I
they
think
brought
that just
it
brings
up.
the score down a little bit.
Okay.
Because like if you like really, really enjoyed it, you'd be like screaming from the hilltops. Everyone needs to do this thing, you know?
But do I recommend what I?
But I think our
But
I want to specifically reiterate that our ratings are on how well it hit for you.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're not saying this thing is 100% because it's the best thing ever made. Because we're saying it's 100% because it's the best thing for me.
Oh, that's You
know?
Because
like we're doing this like
do you know what?
Well
Mort
was the
never made
recommendation
me
for me?
angry.
It never made you angry.
Mort never pissed me off like the Way of Kings did.
Okay.
I thoroughly enjoyed Mort all the way through and was never like, this sucks right now.
I put you through some things.
With Way of Kings was really good, but like, whew. Oh, maybe I give Mort just a little. Let's give Mort a 28. Let's give Mort a 28.
More than Way of Kings?
Yeah, more than Way of Kings right now. Yeah. It knew what it was. It executed it really well. It didn't try to be any like it brought just enough depth, just enough. The humor was really really funny. Like you could tell the author was having fun.
I'm glad the humor hit for you.
And it wasn't angsty.
I felt like that was going to make or break the book.
Yeah, the humor was great.
If the humor hits you or
really
not,
good.
you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Love that.
There we
I
go.
feel good about that. That's great.
28.
28 out of 32. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, we're going to move forward because I'm just going to get stuck in what to give this book.
We're just going to debate this for an hour.
All right. Let's get some mom phrases up in here.
Yeah, you got some mom phrases for me? Hit me with a mom phrase.
Make it happen. Quit hot dogging around. That's fun. How do you do?
That's good stuff.
Floozy.
Floozy.
Yeah. Another pretty common one. A little ditty.
A little ditty.
Mm-hmm. What do you think a little ditty means?
A little
Glenn?
ditty. That sounds like a rapper name. Little ditty, get on stage.
Is that your rapper voice? I like that.
A little. That's my announcing a rapper voice.
Oh, okay. Looking it up.
I feel like I've heard this before, but I cannot put a meaning to it. Is it like a tune or like a song? Like a short song? A ditty?
I think it's like a dance.
Oh, dance.
They did a little ditty.
They did a little ditty.
But then there's ditty, which means small, and then there's ditty with T's. A little ditty is a humorous term that means a short or simple song. You're right.
Oh, okay.
A song. Ditties can be nursery, rhymes, in song form, or the theme song to a TV show.
There we go.
Which
there we go.
Which TV show has the best little ditty, in your opinion? Like, which one resonates with you?
Oh. I like a theme song for a TV show?
Yeah. Like an intro, like a...
Oh, man. I mean, the first thing that came to mind was The Office.
Office is good.
I'm trying to think of shows that like get me pumped when I'm
Community is
listening
good.
to it.
Invader Zim, SpongeBob SquarePants.
Parks and Rec's pretty good. SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah, Parks is... There was one that just had... Oh, Shark Tank.
Shark Tank?
I've been watching... Jack and I've been watching so much Shark Tank.
Wow, really?
It's so good, dude.
I mean, yeah, of course it's
so good. But like watching from season 1.
I didn't think you'd be a Shark Tank person.
Why wouldn't I like Shark Tank?
I don't know. I just wouldn't have guessed that. That's
boom,
great.
Boom, 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 boom.
It is good. Now that it's hitting me.
As they walk in.
Yeah.
Big doors.
Intense.
It's so good.
Okay. I dig that.
I like sing it every time. It's it's great. All right. There you go.
Dude.
Little ditty. All right.
So much studio.
What the hell am I
energy
recommending
on this
to you, Glenn?
episode. I don't know. Hit me, man.
What'd you say about this episode?
I said there's so much studio energy.
There's so much studio energy in the studio today. As opposed to what other energy does the studio bring other than studio energy? Okay. So I have a TV show for you to watch.
Oh, okay.
I have a graphic novel for you to read.
Oh, I have options.
Or
a graphic novel. Okay. TV show,
yeah.
graphic novel.
I thought there was something else. Oh, or a documentary.
Or a documentary. Ooh, that's tough. Okay.
I'll tell you, I'm the most confident. Not that you'll like it, but I think the documentary is the best quality.
Okay.
I think the TV show will bring some interesting conversations.
Okay.
And I think the graphic novel is the most similar to Mort.
Oh, wow.
But on a different side.
Okay, see.
And something I've learned is I've done this multiple times and then have totally forgotten what the other things are. So there's no promise that these will rotate back. I don't write it down.
You don't write these down,
say no.
Ryan?
I just let it come to me.
Okay.
Because it has to be what I'm fixated on.
So, okay, I have a question then. My first thought was like, well, we shouldn't do a book right off another book.
Yeah. That's fair.
But is it like a good like jumping point from Mort?
Jumping point.
No, would it be helpful to have Mort predate it?
Yes. Yeah, because I think it's a thing that kind of does this. It tackles very similar themes.
Okay.
It's less It's not humorous about it. It's more dark comedy, if anything.
Okay.
There is a TV show off of it, but it's just one of those like weird reads, and it's just bizarre and kind of dark.
Okay.
And
it's a graphic novel.
It's a graphic novel,
not a manga.
No.
Okay.
I've only read Jujutsu or not Jujutsu.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
No.
Junji Ito? Yeah. Uzumaki. Okay.
Yeah, and there's no promise that these will ever return.
Well, that's depressing.
I know.
I can't handle that, right?
You got to pick one. They might. I think the documentary has showed its face a couple times because it's like my fave.
It's like your fave. Okay.
So if that gives you any feeling of if you don't pick the doc will probably come back. These other ones, I don't know. They might die.
Man.
They might die right here.
What service is the TV show on?
Netflix.
It's on Netflix. Okay.
Do you have Netflix?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so
Netflix?
many now.
That's the base one everyone has.
But it's like the one that you probably wouldn't miss the most. Let's be honest.
True. Yeah.
It's like everyone has it, but it's like
only use Crunchyroll now.
What are you watching right now? What anime are you?
I'm watching Solo Leveling.
Solo Leveling.
Yeah, it just dropped. It's coming out right now.
Any good?
It's pretty good.
All right.
I mean, I have a year or like at least 6 months 7 months ban on recommending animes right now, so I can talk about it. It's not going to come.
Oh, yeah. That's
While
true.
long-term projects happening, I can't have you watching 2 animes at the same time.
No.
I did
Blow my brains out.
I did start another anime because it's the Solo Leveling's like coming out right now. So like I watch an episode and that's it.
You can't be bothered to wait.
No, I want to see what's happening because it's like in the zeitgeist right now. So I want to be up to date.
Okay, I got it.
But another anime just started dropping, and I'm like, ooh,
Is
I
good?
have to recommend this one. I've only seen one episode. I'm like,
It's a never a good sign.
ooh, write this one down. Okay, let's go with the graphic novel.
Hey. All right.
Let's do it.
So-
If it's a good jumping point for Mort, let's do it. Why not?
So, yeah, let me just pull.
Welcome to Books Required, a podcast.
It's a graphic novel. It's. Let me just pull this up.
So it got adapted into a Netflix
So you can
show.
get the whole. You can get the box set for $176.
Oh my god! Like for the series of books.
Mhm.
Okay, well let's start with book 1. Okay,
I read this really fast, by the way.
I
feel like I blazed through.
do I know
So
what
it came
this
out.
is?
It came out in 1988, and it's called Sandman. The Sandman.
Oh, I've
you-
seen the Netflix show.
Okay,
Yeah.
that will make this a lot easier to read.
I mean, no, sorry. I haven't watched the Netflix show.
You've seen it.
I've seen like trailers and stuff. Like I know of its existence.
Yeah. So
I've heard mixed reviews on the show.
yeah, I think if you haven't read the books and watched the show,
Yeah.
it's gonna feel so dumb
Okay.
because
it does seem like a pretty
it's
wacky
out
premise.
there.
Yeah.
So
Well, just I feel like there's a bit of like childish.
childish. You know what
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like wrapped up in the idea of the Sandman for me.
Yeah,
Like when
that
I think
doesn't. You need to.
When I think
wipe
of the
that.
Sandman,
Yeah.
like I think of like children's stories and like Santa Claus, Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
Like he's in that kind of realm. You know? Like
Yeah.
he gets mixed in with those characters sometimes in like popular fiction.
So it's okay. So here's like here's the basic concept. So I read these a while ago.
Okay.
But
I'm so skeptical already.
no, it's fine. I don't know if you'll love it. Like I'll just say that right out the front. I don't think this thing will be the thing you lose your mind over and like
Sure.
want to tell people about.
Yeah.
But also,
I said the same thing about Mort.
but also I could see it really clicking.
Okay.
It's really dark. There's a lot of pretty effed up stuff in it.
Oh, okay. In this
But
Netflix
the what?
in this Netflix show.
In the Netflix show and in the graphic novel.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like he goes to
Netflix
hell
hangs with it.
Like
Okay.
there's
That's fair.
there's some like I'm trying to figure out. I'm just trying to. Okay, let me just give you the basic idea.
Yeah,
and
can
then
I tell you? Can I say something that's
Yeah.
going to make me seem really dumb? I have zero concept of who the Sandman is. I know he has something to do with sleep.
I don't know anything.
And
I don't know.
that's it.
Yeah, I thought the whole thing was just like the sand you find in your eyes. That means you were visited by the Sandman. Like I think that's the.
Whoa,
and he
what?
brings dreams.
What?
Have you never heard that? You know,
No.
you like wake up with like crusty stuff in your eyes.
Yeah.
That's like, oh, the Sandman came and like because you were sleeping.
What?
And
that's the origin?
Yeah, that's like the idea behind. That's like the extent of
Wow.
Sandman.
No
the
idea.
Sandman to
I
my.
had no idea.
So he's like a mythical. He's like there's different. He's not a mythical creature. He's an entity.
Yeah.
In
I would
this-
say similar to like death.
Yes,
Like the
exactly.
Grim Reaper.
He meets death and like
Okay.
has conversation, but like he's
Somewhere
basically
in like the angels, demons kind of
he's
realm.
more close to a god,
Okay.
like a minor god than,
Okay.
than anything.
Maybe-
But basically,
It's not demigod. Demigod's part human.
which man, this episode's all over the place. I started watching the Percy Jackson series on
Yeah,
Disney
what do you
Plus.
think?
I think I only enjoy it because I read the books. Let me just put it that way.
Okay.
If you haven't read the books,
I've heard mixed reviews on the TV show.
production's pretty nice.
But people think,
No good.
is it?
I don't know. Like,
I've seen like comparisons where it's like money spent on like a Game of Thrones episode, and it will be more money spent on a Percy Jackson episode, and it's like nothing anywhere close to the level of Game of Thrones is going on in this episode. Like, where is this budget going, kind of thing.
Oh,
like people think it's like laundering money because they're spending millions on each episode, and like it's just a bunch of kids in a room. Like, where are these millions of dollars going? It's very weird.
I think I've been impressed with the production. Okay.
That's fine.
Maybe I'll recommend it. I don't know.
Another day.
So basically, it follows the story of the Sandman.
Okay.
And he is this entity god that basically has his realm, like his dream realm.
Okay.
And
okay. Similar
when
like
you
the devil as hell.
Yeah,
and,
exactly. And
okay.
so it's, to spoil a little bit of the beginning, he basically gets captured, and he has different tools he uses in order to jump between people's dreams and do things. Like, there's like a mask, and I think there's like a gem, and like all these different random apps. So he basically gets stuck. He gets captured. The graphic novel like starts like this.
Okay.
He's captured by this multi-billionaire that's trying to get him to give him a wish of it. I think it's like he wants to live forever. And so he worked.
So a human seeking immortality traps the Sandman.
But I think they don't realize it's the Sandman. I think they're trying to capture death.
Oh,
but they captured the Sandman instead.
Got it.
And the graphic novel starts with this, and then he eventually is able to break out, and the series of books follow him trying to get back his different items, go back to his dream realm, recreate it. And it's like, it's kind of like if someone took like the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and Death and the Sandman, and then said, like, what if these were all like godly entities that all had different ways of interacting and keeping the world in balance?
Okay, I need a clarification. Is like Santa and the Easter Bunny in this book?
I can't remember.
That is the most wild answer you could have given.
Because it's been a second.
I can't remember if Santa Claus is in this book or not.
If he is, it's like the least memorable thing. Like that's kind of the like. Let me just lay down this scenario that got me into it. So there's a YouTuber that did a series on this of like why he loved it, and there's a series of sections that happen throughout all the books where the Sandman meets Shakespeare, and they meet in a bar, and basically they get into this conversation, and it's like at this really, really old tavern.
I have so many questions. Sorry.
So the Sandman and Shakespeare are talking, but like Shakespeare's kind of no one at this point.
Okay.
And basically the Sandman, like they get into this argument and they make a bet.
Okay.
And the bet is like, if you give me immortality, I'll never want to die. And so the Sandman goes, fine, meet me at this bar every 100 years, and we'll see if you if you want to keep living. And so throughout the book, there's randomly these inserts of the Sandman meeting Shakespeare.
Shakespeare?
Is it Shakespeare? I think it's Shakespeare.
Okay.
Man, I'm really messing this up.
I have so many questions. That's fine. It's been
I don't think it's Shakespeare. I think the guy has conversations with Shakespeare. Like Shakespeare shows up.
Okay.
It's like it's during that era of Shakespeare.
Sorry.
Here we go.
So many questions. Is the Sandman time independent?
Yeah, he can travel through time.
Through time. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's like not on a linear time track.
He has lived forever.
Okay.
Yeah, time keeps going forward for him.
Okay.
He can't bounce between time.
He's not like Doctor Who style.
No.
Popping in and out
it's just that he met this guy that long ago.
Okay, got it.
And so throughout the series, they randomly go back to that moment.
Okay.
Or like different moments, and they have conversations. And they're like, the guy's like, well, I have all this money now, and like because I live forever, and like there's nothing really new. Like there's this indoor plumbing that's happening. Like it's really interesting as you kind of hear this singular experience about time, and it's only like one part of it.
Sure.
There's murder and massacres.
I guess
and
I'm wondering the genre. Like, is this an action-y? Is this comedic?
No, I wouldn't. So yeah.
Thriller?
So let me try to see if I can set the tone for you.
Okay.
It's
Our new staple of recommending a book. What's the tone?
Yeah. Imagine Everything Everywhere All at Once, but played completely serious.
Oh.
Like not like, you know, like the scene where she like makes the guy's head explode into confetti.
Yeah.
But like if you understood the weight of that guy just died.
Okay.
And it's like, it's this ridiculousness, but it's also like, wow, this is madness. Like this. And it's also, it's very reminiscent of like Alice in Wonderland, where it's like she goes in and like everything is madness and crazy, but it's also, that's just how things are.
Okay.
Like there'll be situations
it's treated like it's normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the Sandman's like, I have to do this. It's like, what are you talking about? It's like, yeah, this is just how things are. And you're like, what? But it's about his exploration of humanity, and it's about humanity's like our sins and what makes us good and what makes us bad, and like the way things are, and how dreams as a literal dream that you have changes you, as opposed to the dreams of the things you pursue change you. Like he's master of dreams in all sense.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see why it's the Sandman and not like the way this is being described sounds like the natural main character is like the devil or something. Yeah. You know, it feels like that's the easiest insert here is the devil. Yeah. But he's not. It's the Sandman, keeper of dreams. Like, what is the spin there?
I think for his character, it's like he understands humans because he understands our dreams.
Okay.
Like he has
a special connection.
He has
to
this
us
really sweet connection
while being a god.
While being this like minor god.
Okay.
That like and like there's a whole thing where it's like when he gets captured, some people don't wake up from their sleeps. Like they get stuck in their dream world. Okay. Until he wakes up. So like there's a whole story that follows this person who's been asleep for 30 years and then wakes up.
Like a coma?
Yeah. They're like, they call it like a sleep disease. And so it's like, it's just like all these different things and these different plots and these different like narrative inserts happening.
Is this like Earth? Like
yes.
Here?
Yeah, just normal Earth. Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously you said Shakespeare. Like this is our world.
This is our world.
We're interacting with. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I'm just I can't like all the stories feel like one to me. So I'll be very interested to see like what one looks like. And if you finish it really quickly and do have time to keep going, I would say like start the second one, or we could wait for another recommendation for that. But
interesting.
It's a really interesting read, and I think if you just go in knowing these stories are willing to go to really dark places while also having this randomness and not and then play it off in a way of saying like, let's use this as ways to talk about things. Like it's very interesting. Like it's really, really interesting.
Okay.
It's kind of got it also has kind of a like Greek mythology feel.
Yeah,
where it's
that's
like,
kind of what it was.
Hey, so and so's gonna go like visit, the devil, and it's like, they're having this conversation. And you feel like it's Poseidon talking to Zeus.
Yeah,
and if you think about Greek mythology, all of their stories are whack. Like they're so bizarre.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like this.
It's got that vibe.
This pseudo mythology of like modern culture.
Sure. Okay.
So yeah,
I'm intrigued.
I'm gonna reread it honestly because when I was listening to this, I was like, this gives me like very Sandman vibes.
Okay. I was gonna clarify. It's called Sandman.
The Sandman.
The Sandman.
Yeah.
Okay. Graphic novel. We gotta have an author.
Yep.
Just to make it clear.
Neil Gaiman.
Neil Gaiman. Oh, I've definitely heard that name before. What else has he written?
Also, I'd say the like graphic novels themselves are really.
How's the artwork?
The artwork's good. It's definitely more 80s, where it's like it's not like super detail oriented through the whole thing. Like they pick and choose where, but like
I think the only graphic novel I've read. No, I mean we did Uzumaki.
Yeah,
but like predating that is Watchmen.
I would say it's similar to Watchmen.
Okay.
I'd say it's like similar quality to Watchmen.
Okay.
But like they do these things where like certain pages are just like these weird collages of things. Okay. And it's very head trip. I mean, like I'll just show you the covers because like they're just very interesting.
Okay. is wacky. There's the Netflix show.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I've
Like,
seen
that's
that.
what
I've seen that font before, and I'm like, oh, I've seen the font for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Netflix show.
yeah.
Okay.
So I this is very much a shot in the dark. I actually like.
So was Mort.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see like how long book 1 is, because with graphic novels, they can be like really short. So like I'm gonna do an asterisk and
it's
just
also
say like
tough because it depends on like how long you like to linger on photos.
Yeah.
You know? It's not just your reading speed. It's like some people like to hang out and like see all the details and all the photos.
I'm a slow reader, and I ripped through this thing.
Okay.
Like really quickly.
I'm also a slow reader, so we'll see.
So we'll see. But the Sandman.
Cool. I'm pumped for this one.
Yeah, this kind of was like in the back of my brain for so long, and then I watched the show and I liked.
Write these down, man.
No, I like the idea of them just showing up when they feel it. Because in my, you know what it is? In my head, I'm like, it's not worth recommending if it's not gonna stick in my brain.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Like if I have to write it down, it's probably not worth it.
I guess you do. I think it's fair to say that you try more things than I do.
I would say more variety. Yeah.
On average. So I feel like I need the list because like I don't have that much stuff. So like
have that much stuff.
I got to keep track of them. Whereas you just got new stuff off the cuff all the time.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So
it's hard too because there's a couple video games that I'm like, I really like these. I know Glenn is gonna hate this though.
Well, then don't recommend it.
All right, I'm Ryan signing off.
I'm Glenn signing off.
Knight to D5. I'll see you in 2 weeks.